How we doing today? Olivia Odaleke, Chief Engagement Officer with Campus Insights, and you are tuning in to the 10-minute Spark Live, where in 10 minutes, I'm going to focus on a micro inquiry task that can be used to help spark curiosity in the classroom. That is our goal, because the goal really is to show teachers, instructional leaders, instructional coaches that it doesn't take a lot to change student engagement in the classroom. It's just a matter of shifting our mindsets. There's so many books out there that I listen to, and really at the end of the day, it's always about what is your perspective. I was just reading this book called The Noticer, and they were just basically this guy, his name is Mr. Jones, and he's just going around noticing people not happy, and he talks to them and he finds out why they're not happy, and he just asks them a few questions in order to change their perspective. And when he changes their perspective, when he gets them thinking, the first thing is gratitude. Every day we need to be grateful for something in our life. Grateful that we have the opportunity to influence children. Grateful that we have the opportunity to encourage parents. There are so many things that we need to be grateful for. But what I loved about that book, it was so simple. It was just like, no matter what challenge we're going through, we just need someone sometimes to ask us some questions to help change our perspective. And so my goal is, I'm hoping that every Wednesday from 4:10 to 4:25 Eastern Standard Time, that I can help change your perspective about inserting more curiosity in the classroom. So we're going to jump right into it. I was initially going to demo a micro inquiry task for students, but I'm thinking my audience is educational people, is leadership, our teachers. But how oftentimes we are going to we're in professional development, and we want to introduce a new instructional practice. And sometimes these instructional practices, they've been there all the time, but we rarely use them. So if I was doing a PD and working with leadership, and I really wanted to change and shift the mindset of teachers, you got to first get them thinking about the problem. You got to get them thinking about what already exists. And then we can set them up for the training. So, my audience is teachers, and we're going to introduce micro inquiry tasks, or we're going to introduce inquiry based learning. We're going to introduce maybe something that they are aware of but not using. So, this is my task. Okay. So, let's see if you're ready for it. What's one of the most effective instructional practices, but that's rarely implemented in the average classroom? So, in groups with other teachers, they're going to think about what's one of the most effective instructional practices, but the catch that is rarely implemented in the average classroom, and why do you think it is? And I'm going to give them about 7 to 8 minutes to think about this topic. And each group is going to share out one or two. But the key part is, I says one of the most. So I'm making them think, I'm making them focus on what is one instructional practice that is effective, but people not using it. So some sample responses might be student generated questions. Do we give enough time to that? Those are effective. When students generate their own questions, they drive their learning. For frequent formative feedback, oftentimes we don't have what time. And so a lot of us are not using the technology in order to provide that formative assessment in real time versus waiting to the end of the lesson. So after we've come up with a few sample responses, we're going to have a community kind of agreement as to what is the big concept we want to take away. And so I usually have at least a 2 sentence summary statement that we make together collectively. So here's a sample one. The most impactful teaching practices aren't always the flashiest. They don't need to be, flashy. You could be simple and look good. You got to put all that makeup on to look good. You could be simple. And they're the ones that center student thinking, voice, and reflection. Practices that focuses on students thinking Having a voice and being able to reflect on their learning, those are the most impactful. Yet they're often underused due to what? Time, testing, or traditional instructional methods. Curiosity driven instruction brings them back to the forefront. So that's a task. I'm done. How long did that take? That took us about 4.5 minutes. Are you thinking? Because I didn't give you all the answers, did I? I had you thinking, and that's what we need students to do more of. And I even like to create like a little phrase: the best instructional strategies don't need more time, they need more intention. It's not about time, it's about what is our intention. So, thank you for being here. Listen, we have a whole program scheduled at the Spark Curiosity EDU Conference taking place June 19th and 20th in Austin, Texas. I'm just going to throw that link up for you. You can easily register, and if you put a comment, I will direct message you um a coupon code to get a discount to attend this in-person event. And one of the things I wanted to highlight is the first thing on the agenda is lesson plans. Like, so many teachers are stressed out about lesson plans, and our track is called Blueprints for Wonder. Mastering curiosity driven lesson design. So basically, we're going to emphasize how can we create lesson plans that naturally evoke curiosity and set the stage for engaged learning. How can we do that? And we can do it. And it's simple. Remember, the best instructional strategies are, what did I say about that? The best instructional strategies. Oh, I had a little they don't need more time, they just need more intention. So, what are your intentions? What do you intend to do differently as we move forward? I know testing season is coming up, but we still got the babies in front of us. We still can spark their curiosity. But we have to think about how are we inserting it into our lesson plans. And that's just one of the highlights of the program. We got so many things planned, but at the end of the day, you got to be there. You got to be there because it's about modeling, it's about us taking the role as a student, putting ourselves in the role of a student, and thinking about how do I want to be taught? And we have to change this PD structure in order to meet that. I want to drop a another thing on you. I would love to share out another song that I am in the process of writing my book. Unleashing Curiosity. And I've been inspired to write some songs to go with each of the chapters. So we're going to play a sample of one of the songs that will be released at the conference, also released with the interactive book that also has videos. We're trying to take this thing to another level. So this one is called What is the Purpose? And I really, really want educators to really think about what is the purpose of what we do. Why are students here? And please, we cannot say it's to pass a test and to get money, to get a job so you can make money. We have to go deeper. So I hope this song inspires you to think about what is the purpose of learning. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit so we can.
It's the real purpose now. Generation Z. They tell me learn for a paycheck. I need more than just surviving day by day. The ancient metaphor. Education should awaken, not just prepare for labor. The system built for factories, but I'm not a machine neighbor. What's the purpose of this learning? Don't tell me it's a job when the future's changing quickly. Traditional paths won't solve the problems of tomorrow. Need thinkers who are free, not boxed into old paradigms from the 18th century. What's the purpose of learning? I need more to sustain me, something deeper to flame me, to invest in my own growing. What's the purpose of learning, if not to free my mind from the chains that bind? It's time you change your pedagogy. Generation Z, we're digital from birth, connected to all knowledge, to every part of Earth. But still you teach the same way like nothing has evolved. Rows of desks and textbooks when there are real problems to solve. I want to learn for purpose, for passion and for change, for questions that awaken, not facts to rearrange. The spark of true discovery comes not from your test, but from the fire of wondering what might serve humanity best. What's the purpose of learning?
What is going to spark? What's going to serve humanity best? Listen, our 10 minutes is up, but hey, I'm going to see you next Wednesday. I think I started a few minutes early, but the key part is it doesn't take a lot. The best instructional practice don't require more time. They just require more intention. Hopefully, I see you next week. Please drop a comment if you enjoyed the